here with Texas Tackle Factory, and I want to talk to you about this guy right here. This is our newest bait, just released. It's the Killer Flats Minnow XL, also known as the Big Minno. Here's our original Killer Flats Minnow. You can see the difference between those two. This bait checks in right about 4.8 inches long. Our original was 3.5 inches, but this bait isn't just longer. It's a bulkier bait all around. When we designed the original Killer Flats Minnow, we were thinking shallow water, sight fishing. This is more of a finesse bait. With this bait, not so much. This bait is big, it's bulky, it has a huge presence in the water, the tail puts out a ton of vibration, and I think you guys are really going to like it. This color right here, this is one of our new colors, East Beast. It's got a green pumpkin back, the belly glows, it's got a little bit of red flake in the chartreuse tail. We have 6 colors available initially. This is the second. This is Mumpy Glow. This is a favorite of a lot of our customers. Got a glow bait with the red flake. This is a Pumpkin Seed Chartreuse, another favorite. Texas Morning Glory. This bait is a favorite of the guys that chase big trout, especially during the winter. Off-color water conditions or fishing at night, this bait really does well. This bait here, plain old glow chartreuse tail. And pumpkin seed with the white belly and the chartreuse tail, another favorite. We sell a ton of these. There's a few different things you can do with this bait, a few different ways you can rig it. First way is with the standard jig head. This is probably the most popular, easiest method. You can see here, just standard jig head. This is a screw lock jig head. I recommend a wide gap, 3, 4, maybe even a 5/0 hook. Again, this is a big bait, so you don't want to go too small. You want a bait that gets back probably at least halfway through the body. Another way you can do it is like this right here. This is one of our Texas Weedkiller jig heads. And what we did with this bait, because it is so big and bulky, we made a belly slot on it. When you're rigging weedless, we didn't want you to have to go through all that plastic to get through to the back. So we put that belly slot on there. Like I said, this is one of our weedless jig heads. This bait is just screwed onto a spring right here. You just screw it on just like that. Take the hook, slide it in that belly slot. You come out through the back, and then what you want to do is just barely take this bait, move it forward a little, and just barely skin hook that hook point. That bait is completely weedless, and then what happens when a fish comes, a fish bites, and you set the hook, boom, the hook pops out, and you're hooked up. Another thing you can do is use just a regular old wide gap offset shank worm hook. This is a 4/0 offset shank worm hook, just a bass hook like you would use for a plastic worm. You take this, put it in through the nose of the bait, come out the bottom of the bait, and you're going to slide the plastic up the shank of the hook all the way up. And you're going to take the hook, turn it around just like that. And you take the point of the hook, go into the belly slot. One way to always make sure you get it straight is to take the hook and line it up alongside the bait just like that. Where that hook point, you want that point to come out right where it touches the top of the bait right there. You want to be straight on the hook. It's very important. If it's not straight, it's going to spin in the water. That leads to all kinds of problems. So you're going to take this, put it in the belly slot, come out the back. And then again, just like with the weedless jig head, you're going to take the plastic, move it up just a bit, and skin hook it. Now, again, perfectly weedless. When you get your bite, boom, this bait's going to slide down the shank of the hook, and you're hooked up. One thing I really like about rigging it this way with this offset shank hook, a lot of people call it Texas rigging. That's the most commonly used name for it. If you see here, there's the line tie for your hook. You'd be tied on right here. What I like to do is take the head of my bait and push it right up over that line tie. And now you're not as protected, so you're going to be less likely to break off. You're not going to foul on anything, catch any grass or shell, anything like that. Another good thing about this is if you rig this bait weightless just like this, first off, it's going to have a real slow fall through the water because the plastic is so bulky. It wants to stay up in the water column, so it's going to have a real slow fall. You can twitch it. It should drive those wintertime trout crazy. Another good thing about it, if you reel this bait at a pretty quick pace, when you rig it like this right up on top of the water, you can reel this bait over grass beds, you can reel it right on top of matted grass, and it creates a nice little wake, little paddle tail action on top of the water. Works really well for that. I think a lot of guys are going to enjoy throwing this over those thick matted grass beds. These are our 6 initial colors, but don't worry, we're coming out with a lot more. So if you don't see your favorite here, don't worry, there'll be some more. Liquid shrimp, plum and chartreuse, Texas roach. We got some others coming, don't worry. Right now, they're currently available online at texastacklefactory.com, and they'll be showing up in retail stores soon, so keep an eye out.